Well, hello there, I'm Détroit. I feel like I haven't done one of these videos, drawing time, in a while. Between the summer vacations and everything, I had to plan videos out differently, but now I'm finally making this again. If you're not aware, I call drawing time whenever I'm making an abstract ink doodle and talking about any sort of thing that's currently on my mind. It's not a tutorial, it's not a high concept video, it's just me talking. Take it as a podcast, but I'm alone and I'm drawing. I say whatever I want to say without topic in particular, letting my mind run, turning my script into a stream of consciousness. I haven't done it in a while, but now is the time to get back to it. The vacations are over, and it's time to go back to school. It really feels like the summer is over. Just as I got home from work today, it started pouring out. I was completely drenched, but happy. It's still about 30 degrees outside, but I haven't seen rain in a while, and it felt good. There's a very autumnal mood going on. There's rain, the trees are red. Well, they are red because they completely dried out and died during the continuous heat waves, but the mood is still there. It's strange talking about going back to school, considering I've stopped school 2 years ago. I am still a student though, so technically maybe I'm still in school? This September I'm entering my third year of PhD. That's half exciting and half scary, I feel. In reality, I know it won't change my job at all, but I definitely feel the pressure of the third year. If you don't know, in physics, in France at least, a PhD lasts 3 years. So this year, in about 6 or 7 months' time, I'll start redacting my thesis. It is the one book containing all of my work for 3 years, my entire knowledge on the subject, and more importantly, it's my submission for validating the diploma and becoming a doctor. I will officially be Dr. Détroit, at least if I succeed. Let's be honest, the chances of failure are very low. Unless something dramatic happens or if I quit, it definitely won't happen. But there is still quite a bit of pressure. At the moment, I can't help but think about the committee I'll be seeing in 2 or 3 months. That committee only happens twice and is to make sure that my work is in progress. It also serves as a way for the doctorate school, in my case the university, to check that my work conditions are good. It's not my case, but it can happen that the relationship between a PhD student and their boss deteriorates and turns really bad. There are cases of moral harassment or even physical harassment, and having a group of outsiders to talk to without the bosses being present is to serve as prevention or as finding means to remedy such a situation. In my case, that's not why I'm stressed out at all. My bosses are really cool, really nice and very helpful, so I'm all good on that front. My problem is because my work has really slowed down. Since last year's committee, I haven't progressed that much. My experiment was having so many problems, and even when it worked, the compounds I'm working with are really hard to measure, for reasons I won't get into today. So I wonder what I'm gonna say to the committee and what they're gonna say to me. At the same time, I'm also quite excited for the year to come. It's my third year. It means I'm not a baby PhD student anymore. When you start a PhD, the things you work on are so precise and high level that you don't understand anything, even after finishing a master's degree. The first year you learn everything, from how to experiment, what you are actually trying to do, but also why you're doing it and what it implies in the overall field of studies. The second year you are already quite familiar with your subject and you start to be a bit more independent. At least that's how it is on the experimental side of things. You also get a taste of international conferences, workshops, meetings, and you get to discuss in depth with world experts on the field. You also start to teach students in some cases, although I didn't want to do it myself. I definitely taught a lot of things to the intern who is now starting their own PhD in my lab though. You start to finally understand a bit that, hey, maybe you're not that incompetent anymore. So that's the second year, but now I'm in the third year. Now I can discuss in a natural way my subject with my bosses on almost equal footing. I've worked on it for a long time and now I get the intricacies and the physics that are in play. If you spend the first year reading books and articles, the second year is about measuring as much as you can. The third year is when you understand what you're measuring and you're ready to show it to the world basically. Write articles and stuff, which is also a thing that stresses me out and that I will have to do. So as I get to this point in my student's career, the last year of me ever being a student, there are some things that I tend to reflect on a bit. There are some things I wish I'd done earlier or differently. I realized that it was completely normal for me to not understand anything when I started. I just wish I'd asked more questions earlier instead of faking it until I did understand it. I also wish I took more classes and did more formations. Being officially a student registered in a university, even though I'm truly working, I was able to follow master level classes just by sending an email to a teacher and showing up. I did that for a class that I definitely needed but that I hadn't followed during my masters. But there are other classes I could have taken that would have been really interesting. Now it's a bit late for that. In the third year, since half of it will be focused on redacting my manuscript and preparing my defense, the other half is basically trying to measure every day in order to have as much data as possible. Really, I'm excited about this third year. I still don't know how stressful it will truly be, however. I think redacting will be relatively easy enough, considering I'm already accustomed to writing. I'm fast at it and I have good grammar, and more importantly, I can focus on it long enough to be efficient. That is one of the things that PhD students find hardest. I still don't know how all of that will play into YouTube and the other social media I show my work on. Making YouTube videos and even drawing in general takes a lot of time. I'm sure you'll understand though that my PhD is the #1 priority. In a year from now, between the manuscript and the defense, I'll probably have to force myself to take a break from videos. I like to say that I already work 2 days in one. From 7 to 9 AM I'm drawing or writing, then 9 to 5 I'm working, and then I'm back to drawing and writing until about 9 PM. That is about 2 days of work in one. However, despite what I can say in some of my storytelling videos, I'm only human. Immortal but human. Burning out is something I have to watch out for. I just said that the PhD is #1 priority, but that's wrong. The #1 priority is and has always been my health, and it should be yours too. Don't overwork yourself if you're not sure you can take it. Take things one at a time. Make sure you're on the path of happiness because that's the only thing that matters, right? As it is the time of the year where people go back to class for a whole 10 or so months, I feel like these are important parting words. I hope you are good and you will have a good school year. Oh yeah, I was about to do an outro, but I realized I completely forgot to talk about this drawing. This is Rapunzel's hair. At the very end I decided to add her in a corner. Look, there she is. I found it funny to switch the drawing around at the very end. Like the video if you had a good time, leave a comment if there's something in particular you want to see me draw, and maybe you could tell me a bit about yourself. What will you be doing starting September? Are you working, studying, traveling, something else? Consider subscribing for more art and follow me on Instagram for even more art. I'm Detroit and I guess I almost don't have imposter syndrome anymore. Bye!